Welcome to the inter-regional debates of the Great Debaters Contest. I am Mariam Bishar.
I am Austin Nyambok.
With the problem of refugees bothering Kenya and many other African states, today our debaters ask if high-income countries have an obligation to let in migrants from low-income countries.
Proposing the motion, we have Limuru Girls, who have a simple and clear-cut message to their opponents. Mess with us, we'll mess with you. As for our newcomers to the debate, Kiaguthu Boys, they have a simple yet sublime quote: expect nothing and everything. So may the debates begin.
The motion this week is: high-income countries have a moral obligation to open up their borders to migrants from low-income countries. Proposing the motion, Limuru Girls School. Opposing the motion, Kiaguthu Boys High School. Each contestant has 3 minutes to make their submissions. The audience also gets a chance to put their questions to each team. Each side will have an additional 1 minute to make a final statement. The judge's decision is final. The winning school will get an ICT chill-out zone with the widescreen TV, computers, webcams, and internet connection. The teacher from the winning school gets 100,000 shillings courtesy of Chase Bank. The winning students each get a tablet courtesy of Safaricom, a gift hamper from Unilever, and a gift hamper from mimi.co.ke. And together they all win the title, The Great Debaters. May the best school win.
The first proposer, you have 3 minutes to blow us away.
What is good never comes easy and is worth every single struggle. Chelsea, Wanjiku, Mwangi, Limuru Girls School, strongly proposing the motion that high-income countries have a moral obligation to open their borders to migrants from low-income countries. High-income countries are those that are economically self-reliant, for example, the United States of America and Russia. Low-income countries are those that depend on foreign aid, for example, Chad and Peru. A migrant is somebody who moves from one area to another for various reasons, and a moral obligation is what is considered as the right thing to do. It encourages cultural interchange, leading to cultural diversity. When these migrants come into these high-income countries, they bring along their cultures, which are gradually adopted in these high-income countries. For example, food. Couscous, I doubt you know it, comes from Morocco. It has gradually been introduced in America. Ugali and nyama choma, which is grilled meat, have also been introduced in Europe. It provides asylum to migrants who are fleeing from their countries that are riddled with political strife. Migrants whose countries are facing political strife are able to seek a safe haven in these high-income countries. For example, in the year 2001, Germany acted as such a safe haven. It opened its doors to the Iranians whose country was riddled with political strife. It encourages or leads to the earning and the increase of government revenue. In these countries, when the migrants go into these high-income countries, they are able to undertake activities that will help them economically. Hence, they provide revenue because these high-income countries have an area to tax them. For example, the United States of America has one of the largest numbers of migrants. They are able to get revenue from them. It leads to the exchange of ideas and skills. When these migrants come from their countries, there are skills and ideas that they have gained. Some are engineers, some are doctors, hence leading to a hybrid of ideas because they're able to mix their ideas with those of the high-income countries. For example, Germany, which also has a high number of migrants, are able to get these ideas and skills and impound or improve on them. Hence, as the old adage goes, the wise are governed by reason, ordinary minds by experience, the daft by necessity, and brutes by instinct. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to give your opening statements.
My name is Nathaniel Muigai. My school is Kiaguthu Boys School. Thank you. Now, to start with a correction to the proposers, obligation is not the right thing to do. Obligation is simply this: a state of being forced to do something because it's your duty or by the law. Thank you, and thank you again. Now, to start off, low-income countries are based on one thing: economics. Low-income countries are countries that are economically unstable. Now, Charles Caleb Carlton once said that you give a man a fish, you feed him for a single day. But if you teach the man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Which one is better? Being fed for one single day or being fed for a lifetime? Migrants are blamed for many things. Let me give an example of the United States. Now, for the Mexicans flowing inside the United States, whether you're guilty or not guilty, in accordance to the law, they were told that anyone entering the country goes through a drug test. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your sex doesn't matter. Either way, you go through a test. High-income countries have their own problems. United States, the owner and border of one thing, the U.S. aid. What happens is this: the U.S. aid helps so many countries in Africa, but in their own country, they have 4.5% of people underemployed. 7.2% of the people not even employed. 7.2% means that in every 1 million people, 7,200 people are not employed. That is in the same country we're calling high-income countries. It leads to brain drain. In Zambia, in the year 2005, they had 1,600 doctors, qualified doctors, with certificates to prove that. Now, a week later, something happened. The increase on salary was reduced. What happened is this: they were left with 400 doctors only. The rest migrated, to a majority of them going to Holland to help out. To make something clear, migrants, it's good to help out. We cannot let the human race be by itself. You cannot let people stand by themselves. But look at the bigger picture. Most of them will go there. But you're moving a problem. You're not solving it. Thank you, and thank you again. My name being Nathaniel Muigai, I would like to say one thing. We cannot open our borders. Not like this.
We'll now get a rebuttal from the proposing team. You have 3 minutes.
It's about time. It's about time we learn that if you believe that closing your doors to the less fortunate is the right thing to do, well, you better start believing in the tooth fairy also. My name is Brenda Wamboi Weria from Limuru Girls School, proposing this motion. I'm in a state of shock at the insensitivity shown by these handsome young men. How can you be so insensitive to the plight of the poor, the innocent, the destitute poor immigrants who move not because it's a hobby, but because they have to? Don't you have a heart, or has it gone vestigial? Well, it is my moral obligation to stimulate your brains that seem to have gone vestigial due to minimal use, if any. You talk of obligation. Well, you should learn that there's a difference between obligation and moral obligation. Obligation is one word, moral obligation are 2 words. Back to kindergarten, fellow handsome young men. Is it better to keep on watching somebody die, yet you can help them survive? You talk of giving a man fish, and I don't know, teaching him how to fish. Listen to yourself talk. On to my first point. Lupita Nyong'o is a product of Kenyan migrants. The Lupita Nyong'o fever is on, and it is not about to go off anytime soon. She is beautiful. She is graceful. How would the Americans ever known? How would the world have ever known that you can be so dark, hair so short, legs so long, yet so beautiful? How would they have ever known that no matter where you come from, your dreams are valid? If Lupita Nyong'o never moved, if the US never opened up its borders for Lupita, Are we together? Leadership is not a popularity contest. Leaders inspire others to be leaders. But South Africa does not know this. There is xenophobia in South Africa. This is fear for migrants. Fear for migrants. They do not want stress. They do not want to be disturbed. Who reasons like that? They want to remain at the corner of the continent all alone. They do not want to welcome Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, for reasons they know best. So let me personally escort you over to our side, the proposing side, the moral side, because there's only one difference between stupidity and genius. Genius has its limits. Thank you.
The opposing team, you have 3 minutes to give us a rebuttal.
State of shock. All protocols observed. My good name is Martin Chege from the Kiaguthu High School. That did not look like state of shock to me, my worthy opponent. I'd like to correct my worthy opponent by first telling her that Lupita Nyong'o is actually Mexican. And I also want them to clarify. How do you know that South Africa, you've talked of South Africa, they do not want stress of immigrants. How do you know South Africa do not want stress from immigrants? I'll immediately move into my points. And I'm here to strongly oppose the motion that states high-income countries have a moral obligation to open up their borders for migrants from low-income countries. My first point will be based on crime and safety issues. I'd want us, ladies and gentlemen present here today, to consider this. The moment migrants come from low-income countries and move into high-income countries, they may not be able to support themselves and to sustain themselves in the high standards of living present in high-income countries. Therefore, they will be forced to engage in criminal activities. They will be forced to engage in all forms of illegal crimes. Therefore, there will be heightened crimes in the high-income countries. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd not want us not to appreciate safety. I know all of us have seen the attacks that have happened at Westgate, Pangani. We have the Mpeketoni attacks. We have felt the pain of losing fellow Kenyans. Safety is special. Safety cannot be compensated. Therefore, the moment we allow migrants to high-income countries, we are losing and making safety in high-income countries be wanting. I'll move on to my second point, which is overpopulation, which will be caused by these migrants. Now, according to a study carried out by the National Academy of Sciences based in USA in the year 2012-2013, countries with many migrants, students overcrowded in schools, especially racial minorities in core cities, users of the 40% of the national lakes and streams that still do not meet clean water standards. What are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? We're talking about this. The moment migrants move into high-income countries and the population becomes excess, they are not able to access good health services, education, clean water. Therefore, there is no need to welcome migrants into your country, yet you are not going to be able to live well, you and both and them. Thank you.
May we have two for the proposers, please?
I'm Stephanie from St. Angela's. The second speaker asked whether it's better to give a man a fish or give him a net to know how to fish. And my question is, what I'm giving it back to you. Is it better to help that man know how to fish and still continue getting food, or is it better you give him food now and he won't get it tomorrow?
A question to the proposers. You talked about Lupita Nyong'o. You talked about her glamour. You talked about her glance. But does the beauty and the glance really affect one person moving to another country, maybe for safety, for food? Does it really affect that? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ahmed Mohammed from Light Academy. My question goes to the posers. Someone talked about the Westgate attack and the Mpeketoni, who said that those attacks were carried out by migrants. I want to know.
My name is Kevin Mwangi from White Forces Academy. I wanted clarification and proof that Lupita Nyong'o is Mexican.
The third proposer, take the stage.
Ella Willa Willocks. Clearly stipulated, with so many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind, yet the art of being kind is all this sad world needs. My name is Shirley Cynthia Mujera, before you to strongly propose the motion at hand. I will answer your questions. First, you wanted to find out about if you teach a man how to fish and helping him for a day. There is no way as a human being with a moral conscience you will watch somebody die and tell them, don't worry, I will teach you how to fish. But what you can do for them, take them in. Give him the fish for that day. Then begin to train him. Now that is, high-income countries have the moral obligation to do that. China, for example, has taken in migrants. They have taken it upon themselves to teach them how to repair machinery in the manufacture of toys. This is knowledge, and knowledge is power, Francis Bacon stated. Knowledge will never grow old. Once these migrants have acquired that knowledge, they'll be able to go back to their countries and teach the others. And by doing so, this will also boost the economy of the low-income countries. Other than that, you wanted to find out about the low-income countries and how they can be helped. The low-income countries, we accept that as migrants, they have problems. That's why the high-income countries are taking it upon themselves. The people from low-income countries are not necessarily useless. We're all born with something within us. We are vessels full of something. We all have ideas. We all have talents. Mo Farah, born in Mogadishu, in Somalia, now a citizen in the United States of America, in Portland. He is one of the fastest known runners. In athletics, it's his name that's ever flashing the television screens. He is known for the awards he has won. He runs as fast as a deer. The difference that we can give between him and the deer, the legs, he has 2, the deer has 4. And come to think of it, he is helping the United States of America because now he is paying taxes. That is boosting the income in the high-income countries. Other than that, he is running for Britain for that matter. That is prestige that comes along with it. As you can see, when the high-income countries open up their borders, open up their doors to take in the migrants from low-income countries, they also have something to offer. And when the high-income countries open up their doors, the migrants from the low-income countries open up themselves. They open up themselves to being receptive to new ideas. They will not engage in criminal activities because they know that they are accepted. Therefore, let us learn that the high and low-income countries must coexist. And in doing so, there is a mutual agency. It's not a one-sided thing. Therefore, the high-income countries do have a moral obligation to help the migrants from low-income countries. Thank you.
We'll now have the opposers respond to the audience. You have 3 minutes.
Westgate. Migrants. My name is Gabriel Kanja from the Kiaguthu Boys High School. I want to respond to that question about how do we know that migrants were the cause of the attack in Westgate. I know that most of you know or recall this name, Samantha. She was much mentioned during the investigations for the Westgate crime. Samantha is not Kenyan. She is a migrant. To the next question, how is Lupita Nyong'o Mexican? I know that most of you are entitled, or most of you have access to internet, so this can be easily answered by simply Googling the nationality of Lupita Nyong'o. I want to add the following points. Migrants from low-income countries increase the demand for resources such as water and electricity in high-income countries. USA, for example, their citizens uses about 40% of the water in the streams and dams, and yet they have not met the required conditions of water providence to the citizens. When we include the migrants, how worse do you think this situation will be? Again, when migrants migrate, most of them leave behind their children, especially those who go to seek for work. Now, what do you think about that child who has been left behind? What do you think about this child who has no parent to take care of them? According to Liang, this is a universalist from the University of Chicago. According to a study, 250 left behind junior high school students suggest that 16% of them feel abandoned, 12.3% had problems expressing themselves, and 6.5% felt anguished. Surely, if high-income countries do care about the welfare of these children, do you think they have a moral obligation to open up their borders to the migrants from low-income countries? Again, I have this to say. Take Zambia. We have Zambia. Zambia, which is a low-income country. They had doctors. In 2009, they had around 1,600 qualified doctors. But in 2012, they had around 400 qualified doctors. No, these doctors were not dead. What happened is that these doctors migrated to high-income countries in search of greener pastures, leaving behind sick people with nobody to attend to them. If you are high-income countries, thinking about the welfare of these sick people, would you open up your borders to migrants from Zambia? Would you? I'm quite sure you wouldn't. My good name again is Gabriel Kanja, and I want to ask my worthy opponents to cross over and join us and come to the side of light, because that's what is right. Thank you.
Closing statements now from the proposing team. You have a minute.
Shali Cynthia Mujera, Limuru Girls School. Papa, I saw them. My son, who did you see? I saw the ones who are different from us. The ones who do not have much. The ones who do not have a place to stay. The ones who do not have money. The ones who do not have food. So, my son, what about them? Father, is it okay if I help them? Can I give them some of my allowance? Can I take some of the bacon in the fridge and give it to them? My son, no. That is exactly what my opposers are trying to tell us. That it is wrong for the high-income countries to help the migrants from the low-income countries, which we all know, it's a moral obligation. They have the capability, they have the capacity. Therefore, out of their doors, they will step out to come and help the migrants from low-income countries. Therefore, the truth of the matter is and will always be that the high-income countries actually have a moral obligation to help the migrants from the low-income countries. Thank you.
Opposing team, you have a minute for your final statements.
Our second proposer made something very clear. We are handsome, and then at the end, she said we are stupid indirectly. Now let me make something very clear. By telling migrants to go to higher income countries, we're spoiling one thing. We can all be perfect in everything. That said and done, I'd like to continue. Smart education, clean waters, good resources. All these are factors that that all of us want to experience. Either a high-income country or a low-income country. Obama in his speech once said this: tomorrow is for those who work for today. Why send people outside? Why move the problem when you can solve it? Clear and done. We need to work on what we're good at. If they send people here, we cannot all move all the people with the problems we have to the high-income countries to solve a problem. Thank you, and thank you again, Nathaniel, my guy.
Let's start with the Limuru Girls. It's a good team, but I'm fairly disappointed in a way. But not with Chelsea. Chelsea, you're calm, you're confident, you're intelligent. In fact, you have an awesome lyric flair. I greatly admire your verbal fluency. Nonetheless, I was a bit edgy when you mentioned the word daft. It was a pointer to something more to come. Brenda, if I'm to correctly summarize your debate speech, I'll say it was scathing verbalism. Not content rebuttal, but personal attacks. It's very, very dangerous in a debate. If I was writing your report card, my comment, pull up your socks and can do better. Surely, you never disappoint. That's the good thing about you. I love your intelligence, honestly. The metaphorical thrust that came out in the dialogue between the father and the son is awesome. It means that you have a signature style, and believe me, you can debate in any way. You have a great mind.
To Kiaguthu Boys, I must commend you for having very tough skin, like an elephant. And, Nathaniel starts us off very well. Of course, there's a lot of repetition, which I think was stage fright. So that is something that you need to work on. But when Martin comes onto the stage after what happened, I love the fact that you're very composed, and you're able to carry on with the motion. Of course, the insults notwithstanding. The debate about whether Lupita is a Kenyan or a Mexican. Lupita is a Kenyan and a Mexican at the same time. But again, there was a very safe response. I think that was from Gabriel. He got away with murder, so to speak, by telling you can Google it. Gabriel, again, a good job, and, an interesting way to respond to the questions. You were not sure, and so you played it safe rather than attempting to respond.
Two pointers to the two teams, and I'll start with Limuru Girls. And the question is this: you have been on this platform before. My question is, where is the energy? I felt like the energy went low. In the Nairobi region debates, you scored very highly. And I don't think this is what we are about to see, maybe with the results once they're announced. Kiaguthu Boys, you're very strong. I think you're brave because you still fought your way. And I think that's what men do. You take it in and digest it. Thank you so much. To me, all the best to the two teams. Thank you.
Limuru Girls and Kiaguthu Boys have tied at 69%. Please give them a round of applause.
We thank both teams. I think it means they gave it their all if even the judges couldn't bring themselves to decide who was a winner. It was very controversial, to say the least, but that's what we love about the show. We'll see you next time from the Great Debaters Contest. I'm Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok.
The winning school will get an ICT chill-out zone with the widescreen TV, computers, webcams, and internet connection. The teacher from the winning school gets 100,000 shillings courtesy of Chase Bank. The winning students each get a tablet courtesy of Safaricom, a gift hamper from Unilever, and a gift hamper from mimi.co.ke. And together, they all win the title, The Great Debaters. May the best school win.